Hola mis amigues, Careena. Welcome back to Careena's Adventures. I'm Careena, and this is where I enjoy sharing with you, my fellow writers, the things I've learned along this journey of writing. So, a few weeks ago, I asked via Instagram for suggestions for videos I could do on this YouTube channel, and one of the suggestions was to do a video about writer's block. Now, I put this off for a few weeks because I was like, well, I deal with writer's block too. So it's not like I have all of the answers. But I came to the conclusion that I do have some pieces of advice that help me kind of overcome these funks that I can get into. So I figured I might as well share them because maybe they'll help you as well. So let's get started. So the first thing I cannot stress enough, don't panic. Panicking is the worst thing you can do. If you freak out and just start a bunch of random projects, just so desperate for inspiration to come to you for something, you're going to end up just with a bunch of half-finished stuff that's not as good as it could be. I speak from experience here. So the most important thing is don't panic. This happens. It's okay to be like, I don't think anything I'm writing is really turning out. I'm not really getting any inspiration. What's going on here? That's okay. Don't panic. Take a step back, take a deep breath. It's okay. We all deal with this. So the second step, which is kind of the first step after you're in the right mindset, is consider whether you are stuck because of fear or because of a genuine lack of inspiration. Now, I also speak from experience here. There have been times where I get stuck because I feel like it's just not going to turn out, and I'm afraid that the inspiration is not going to come, and it's not going to be worth wasting my time on. Now, if that's the case, you might want to skip step 3 and go ahead and go to step 4 if it's just because you're afraid and you need to get started on something. But if it's genuinely a lack of inspiration, that's okay. That happens. Maybe you finished your other projects you were working on and you haven't really gotten an idea for what your next story will be. And so you're kind of in a lull, or maybe just for whatever reason you're kind of getting to the middle areas of your story in like all your different projects. I have this. I kind of have been dealing with this a lot lately as well, when you kind of get into that act 2 of your story, if you will, where it's kind of just the middle ground. You don't have the really exciting beginning or the really exciting end. You're kind of just in between. It can happen there too. It can happen in a lot of places, and that's okay. But there are some things you can do to maybe help yourself get back into the rhythm. And we will come to the next step now. So, step 3, to help yourself get back into the rhythm, take a break. Go find something, a different project to work on, or maybe just take a couple days off from writing. You're not going to lose all of your writing capabilities in a couple days. Okay, let's be realistic here. So after we've taken our break, we come to step 4, which is using your outline. See if you can motivate yourself to get over a hump in your story and move forward. Now, what I mean by this is kind of what I was talking about a minute ago. Sometimes you get stuck in a story simply because you're kind of on a part that's dragging, that's maybe necessary to the story, but just isn't very much fun to write. So what I do in that instance is I will look at my outline and say, like, what is there coming? What scene is there coming that I can be looking forward to writing? You could also set a goal for yourself if you use, like, something to track your word count. Give yourself a reward for getting past this boring part. Those are some things that you can do to help yourself kind of get rolling if you just kind of need to move forward, whether it's because of fear or maybe you just kind of have fallen out of the rhythm and need a little bit more inspiration, and you're kind of just on a boring part in your story. These are some things that you can do. Now, if you need help making an outline, if you would like to make an outline and you've never done that before but you think it would be helpful, make sure you check out this video, because in this video, kind of around the middle area of the video, I talk about my outlining process and how I come about creating an outline for my story to serve as a roadmap for times like this where I do get stuck and I can't figure out just how to move forward and get to what's next. So, step 5, if you've done all of this and none of it has worked, if all else fails, take a break and go do something else. I know this sounds like I'm repeating myself, but that's because it's okay to take a break. If you get stuck and you don't have anything that you can really figure out and work on, just find something maybe not writing related to do. Maybe you've always wanted to learn to crochet, so now would be a good time. Maybe you need to finish that other hobby of yours that you started. Writing is a big part of, you know, the gifts that God has given you maybe, but it's not your entire life. You have other gifts that He's given you, I'm sure, and it's okay to take a break. You aren't ceasing to be the person you are because of writing. Now, I'm kind of speaking to myself here in some ways because, you know, I kind of had to come to the conclusion and be mindful of the fact that I am not my writing and you are not your writing. That writing is a gift that God has given us, but it's not part of our identity in Him. So maybe you just needed to hear that, and maybe you need to just, you know, step back and then repeat this 5-step process after maybe a few days or a week or a couple weeks, and come back at it with fresh eyes, and, you know, like I said, find a hump that you can get over in your outline and just start at it fresh, because just like with any funk in life that we get into, sometimes just taking a step back, starting fresh, really helps and is the best way to go. So, I hope you have found this video helpful. There is not a secret recipe to overcoming writer's block, unfortunately, but I think that this simple 5-step process can really help you get out of the funk, back into the rhythm, and also maybe just help make your writing more fun, and maybe even prevent you from going into writer's block sometimes. If you have any other tips for overcoming writer's block, please let me know down in the comments. I feel like this is a subject that we writers cannot get enough information on, because sometimes it's just a couple of little things that help us get back into the rhythm and back into the groove of writing. I will see you guys around next time. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and Pinterest at Careena's Adventures, and I will see you next time. Have a blessed day and happy writing. Adios mis amigas y Dios le bendiga.